Gratitude is the memory of the heart. These words from Jean-Baptiste Massieu echo through centuries, yet today they resonate with a quantum depth we're only beginning to grasp. We live in a world flooded with gratitude journals, affirmation apps, and morning rituals filled with phrases like, "Thank you for this day," or "I'm grateful for my home." But despite all this verbal appreciation, something often feels missing. You may have found yourself wondering, if gratitude is so powerful, if it's truly magnetic, why doesn't it always seem to work? You've likely heard it repeated in books, in spiritual circles, and by self-development coaches. Be grateful, and the universe will give you more to be grateful for. And yet, for many, the reality feels different. They write down their lists, repeat their affirmations, and still wake up to the same emptiness, the same unfulfilled desires. Why? Here lies the paradox. Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you. It isn't about lists nor routines. Gratitude only becomes magnetic when it is felt, deeply, genuinely, and vibrationally. In other words, if your thank you doesn't echo from your emotional body, if it doesn't tingle in your chest, if it doesn't warm your gut, then it's just sound. It's like trying to turn on a light with no electricity flowing. In fact, neuroscience and quantum biology are beginning to catch up with what mystics have known for centuries. Words without feeling are empty. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza, it is the combination of coherent thought and elevated emotion that signals the field and creates real observable transformation. That's why gratitude spoken from the mind, without the emotional coherence of the heart, doesn't generate the neurological and biochemical changes necessary for real creation. You're saying the words, but your inner frequency remains unchanged. Now, here's where it gets even more intriguing. What if you've been practicing gratitude in a way that's actually blocking what you desire? What if your thank you is laced with doubt, scarcity, or a subtle plea for something you believe is missing? This is not real gratitude, it's emotional lack dressed in spiritual language. This is the mystery we're going to unravel. In this episode, we'll explore the difference between mechanical gratitude and magnetic gratitude. You'll discover why your feelings, not your words, are the real agents of transformation. You'll learn how to shift your vibrational frequency through heartfelt emotion, how to avoid the silent trap of conditional gratitude, and how to step into the energetic state of receiving. We'll finish with a powerful guided practice that helps you become a living magnet, not by chasing what you want, but by embodying the gratitude of already having it. This is not wishful thinking. It's spiritual neuroscience. It's the convergence of what Neville Goddard called the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and what Amit Goswami described as the consciousness that creates reality. So, if you've ever felt frustrated with your gratitude practice, if you've ever wondered why you're not manifesting despite doing all the right things, this journey is for you. It's time to go beyond the surface of gratitude, to move past words, to enter the vibrational field where everything begins. Because when you feel gratitude the right way, the universe doesn't just listen, it answers. Have you ever caught yourself saying thank you simply because you're supposed to? It's polite, it's what's expected, it's what you've read in every manifestation guide. You write it in your journal. I'm grateful for my life, my family, my dreams. You close your eyes, repeat your affirmations, and yet, there's a subtle emptiness inside, a feeling that nothing really shifted, that deep down you're still waiting for something to change. This is the illusion of empty gratitude. Gratitude, when stripped of genuine feeling, becomes a routine, a mental checkbox we tick off to feel like we're doing the work. But the truth is, your mind can repeat gratitude all day long, and if your body isn't feeling it, nothing changes. Think of it like trying to start a car with no battery. The key might turn, the motions might be there, but without the energy source, the engine won't ignite. In the same way, saying thank you without emotional resonance is like flipping a switch with no electricity behind it. The words might be technically correct, but they carry no power. Neuroscience now supports this. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza, transformation happens when thought and emotion combine to create a new neurological signature. Your brain, and by extension your reality, doesn't respond to words alone. It responds to emotional energy. Without the chemical cascade that emotion triggers in the body, your brain remains in its familiar patterns. Your vibration doesn't shift, your actions don't evolve, and your outer world reflects the same inner state. This is why people often feel disillusioned. They say, "I've been grateful, I've journaled, I've affirmed. Why isn't anything happening?" And the answer is simple but profound. You've been thinking gratitude, not feeling it. And the universe doesn't respond to thoughts alone. It responds to the electromagnetic signature you emit, which is determined by your emotional state. Let's ground this in a simple, everyday example. Imagine someone gives you a gift. You smile, say thank you, and move on. That's surface gratitude. Now, contrast that with a moment when someone surprised you with a gesture so thoughtful it brought tears to your eyes. Maybe a letter, maybe a memory, maybe a moment of pure presence. That warmth, that full body sensation, that swelling in your chest, that's the emotional frequency of genuine gratitude. And that's the energy that rewires your brain and shifts your electromagnetic field. The problem is that in today's fast-paced, checklist-oriented world, we often reduce gratitude to words. We're told to write 5 things we're grateful for each morning, but no one teaches us how to feel those things as if our life depends on it, because it does. In the words of Florence Scovel Shinn, words are your wand, but a wand with no energy behind it is just a stick. This brings us to a fundamental truth. It is not the act of saying thank you that makes gratitude powerful. It is the embodiment of gratitude that makes it magnetic. Jacobo Grinberg, the Mexican neuroscientist and mystic, spoke of the internal field of consciousness as the space where transformation originates. When we practice gratitude mechanically, we bypass that field. But when we feel gratitude fully, we activate it. We light it up with presence and coherence. Feeling is the secret, as Neville Goddard insisted. And nowhere is this more evident than with gratitude. Without the emotional charge, your thankfulness becomes noise. But with it, you tune into a signal, a frequency, that begins to alter everything around you. So how do we move from empty gratitude to magnetic gratitude? The key lies in learning how to activate the electricity within, and that starts by understanding how the body, the heart, and the field respond to genuine feeling. Let's go deeper. Once you understand that empty gratitude is like a switch without electricity, the natural question arises, how do you generate that power? How do you move beyond words and ignite a frequency that actually alters your reality? This is where we enter the quantum. Quantum physics has revealed something revolutionary. At the most fundamental level, reality is not made of solid matter. It is made of energy, frequency, and vibration. What we perceive as the physical world is actually a field of infinite possibilities, waiting to be shaped by observation, intention, and coherence. And here's the key. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It's a frequency, a measurable, energetic state that communicates directly with this quantum field. Dr. Joe Dispenza, building on the work of pioneers like Amit Goswami and the HeartMath Institute, has shown that when you combine a clear intention, thought, with an elevated emotion, like gratitude, you broadcast a powerful electromagnetic signal into the field. Your thoughts send the signal out. Your emotions draw the experience back in. This is the essence of what Dispenza calls changing your energy to change your life. But why gratitude? Because gratitude is the emotional signature of receiving. When you feel it authentically, not from a place of longing, but as if your desire has already come to pass, you shift your body into coherence. You become aligned. And when that alignment is sustained, it begins to rewire your brain, strengthen your immune system, and magnetize new outcomes. Let's look at the science for a moment. The HeartMath Institute has conducted decades of research into the effects of emotions on the body's physiology. What they discovered is profound. When you feel gratitude, appreciation, or love, your heart rhythm becomes coherent. That means it enters a smooth, harmonious state, which in turn regulates your nervous system, brain function, and hormonal balance. In a state of heart coherence, your brain and heart begin to synchronize. The body heals faster, the mind becomes clearer, and your entire energetic field becomes more powerful, more stable, more magnetic. This isn't just spiritual metaphor, it's measurable physiology. In one heart math study, participants who practiced just 5 minutes of heart-focused gratitude daily experienced a significant increase in secretory IgA, a key immune marker. Other studies show improvements in heart rate variability, blood pressure, sleep, and even resilience to stress. But the implications go beyond health. When you enter a state of true gratitude, your brain starts to fire in new patterns. Neuroplasticity kicks in. You create new neural networks that reflect abundance, not scarcity. You begin to anticipate good things, not dread them. And over time, your entire internal landscape shifts from one of lack to one of reception. That's when the field begins to respond. Why? Because the quantum field, what Grinberg would describe as the synergic lattice, or what Talbot calls the holographic universe, does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. And what you are is defined by your frequency, not your words. So if you think, I want to be healthy, but your dominant feeling is fear, the field responds to fear. If you say, I'm grateful for abundance, but your heart is tense and your body is tight, you're sending mixed signals, and the field reflects that incoherence. But when you think abundance and feel abundant, when you thank life with every cell of your being as if what you desire is already yours, your signal becomes coherent. And coherence is what the universe understands. Imagine yourself as a tuning fork. When you resonate with joy, gratitude, love, you vibrate at a frequency that attracts more of the same. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. Because your inner state mirrors the future you want, and the field responds with matching opportunities, synchronicities, and outcomes. This is not magic. It's resonance. A practical example. Consider this. Close your eyes and think about something you truly love. A memory, a person, a place. Feel the warmth it brings to your chest. Let it spread. Let your breath deepen. That vibration, that expansion, is your natural electromagnetic signal when you are in heart coherence. That is what gratitude should feel like. That's the frequency that heals, creates, and magnetizes. So the next time you sit to practice gratitude, don't start with words. Start with the body. Breathe into the heart. Remember something real. Let the emotion rise. Then, only then, add your intention. Visualize the life you want from that frequency, and you'll do more in 5 minutes than hours of empty affirmations could ever accomplish. But be careful, because there's a subtle trap that can sabotage this entire process. Here's the silent saboteur. The reason why, even when you try to feel grateful, the results remain elusive. It's subtle, it hides in spiritual language, and it often masquerades as positivity. It's conditional gratitude. Conditional gratitude says, I'm thankful, but only if I get what I want. It's the kind of gratitude that comes with an asterisk. I'm grateful now, but I better see results soon. It looks spiritual on the outside, but underneath, it's rooted in lack. This kind of gratitude isn't a frequency of receiving, it's a frequency of waiting. And in the quantum field, waiting equals separation. Let's break it down. Neville Goddard, one of the clearest voices on vibrational creation, taught the law of assumption. According to him, your outer world is a mirror of your inner state, not of your hopes or your wants, but of your felt assumptions. The world reflects not what you ask for, but what you already believe to be true at a subconscious level. So if you say, thank you for my abundance, but you're secretly thinking, I hope this works, or when is it coming? Your underlying vibration is one of lack, not fulfillment. You're not aligned with the state of having, you're echoing the absence of it. Conditional gratitude says, I'll feel grateful when I see the outcome. But vibrational creation works the other way around. You see the outcome when you feel the gratitude as if it's already real. This is the paradox. Real gratitude is not reactive, it's generative. It doesn't come after manifestation, it precedes it. It doesn't say, thanks because I received. It says, thanks because I already am receiving. This is not denial or delusion, it's vibrational alignment. When you express gratitude from a place of not yet, you're essentially telling the quantum field, it's not here. And the field, ever responsive, echoes back that very state. Your emotional signal says absence, and so absence remains your experience. Let's use a metaphor. Imagine planting a seed. You water it. You cover it with soil. You speak to it with love. But then every morning you dig it up to check if it's growing. You're anxious. You're watching. You want proof. What happens? The seed struggles or dies. It was never given the trust, the time, or the fertile space to transform. This is what conditional gratitude does. It digs up the seed every day. It's gratitude wrapped in doubt. Now compare that to a gardener who plants, waters, and walks away with joy. She knows the soil will do its work. She thanks the earth, not because she sees the sprout, but because she knows it's inevitable. Her gratitude is not a request. It's a recognition. That is magnetic gratitude. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke of aligning our words with divine law, not begging, not doubting, but declaring from faith. The kind of faith that doesn't say maybe or someday, but now. Because in the energetic realm, time is irrelevant. Everything exists as potential. The only question is, what are you aligning with? When you truly embody gratitude, you become a vibrational match to your desired reality now, not after it arrives. That alignment collapses the wave of potential into form. This is what quantum physics refers to as the observer effect. Your emotional state, your attention, and your expectation shape the outcome you observe. So how do you break the trap of conditional gratitude? You move from wanting to being. From thank you, I hope this happens, to thank you, it already is. You don't wait for evidence, you become the evidence. You stop looking for signs and become the sign. You let gratitude become a state, not a strategy. Practical example, instead of saying, thank you for the partner I want to attract, say, thank you for the love I already am. Instead of, thank you for the money that's coming, say, thank you for the abundance that flows through me now. Speak it. Feel it. Live as if the outcome is unfolding in this breath, not the next. This is not tricking the universe, it's speaking its language. Remember, the quantum field doesn't respond to your vocabulary, it responds to your vibration. And the vibration of conditional gratitude is resistance disguised as devotion. But once you drop the condition, once you become the feeling you seek, then something shifts. The field bends, your body softens, your heart opens, and you begin to receive, not because you begged, but because you became a match. And now that you understand this, what does magnetic, unconditional gratitude actually feel like? So far, we've exposed the illusion of mechanical gratitude and the trap of conditional thankfulness. Now we enter sacred ground, the vibrational space where transformation actually begins. This is not just about feeling good, it's about stepping into a state of being that aligns you with the field of infinite possibility. Welcome to the state of receiving. Let's clarify something that most people get wrong. Receiving is not something you do, it's something you become. And the gateway to this state is not action, it's gratitude, felt from the heart, without resistance, without expectation. This is not the gratitude of please or maybe. It is the gratitude of already done. It doesn't request, it recognizes. It doesn't hope, it embodies. And it is this recognition, this knowing, that generates the signal the universe responds to. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it anchoring the emotion of the future in the present moment. And it's one of the most profound quantum tools available to the conscious creator. Let's explore how it works. The moment you truly feel gratitude, not as a reaction but as a state of being, You collapse the distance between yourself and your desire. You close the gap between here and there, now and then. You become the version of you who already has, already is, already knows. And because energy follows emotion, your body begins to shift. You enter coherence. The nervous system relaxes. The brain synchronizes. The electromagnetic field expands. This state of receiving is not passive. It is vibrationally active. It is the point where intention and emotion merge into a single radiant signal that speaks directly to the quantum field. It's what Lynn McTaggart referred to in the field as entraining the field through coherence. When your body and energy are in a harmonic state, the field recognizes you. You're no longer separate from your desire. You are the resonance of it. Let's make this real. Close your eyes. Imagine something you deeply desire, a healed body, a loving partner, a creative breakthrough. Now breathe into your heart and ask, what would it feel like if it were already here? Not someday, not in theory, but now. Would you feel relief, joy, awe, gratitude? Good. Now here's the quantum trick. Don't just imagine it. Become it. Let that feeling swell. Let your cells vibrate with it. Let your body remember the future, because that emotional frequency is the magnetic key. That's what tunes your signal. That's what draws the invisible into the visible. And this is where most people fail, not because they lack desire, but because they remain in the frequency of not yet. They look around, see no evidence, and slip back into waiting. But the field doesn't respond to evidence. It responds to coherence. So you must hold the state even when the outer world shows nothing. You must feel the future before it arrives, because that's the very act that causes it to arrive. This is what Carl Jung hinted at when he said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." In the state of receiving, you are no longer unconscious. You are deliberately generating your future, not by force, but by frequency. And this frequency isn't theoretical, it's visceral. You feel it in your chest, your breath, your posture. You feel it in the silence between thoughts. You feel it as a deep sense of yes that needs no external confirmation. In the holographic universe, Michael Talbot described how consciousness shapes reality through resonance. That what we call matter is simply energy aligned in a specific pattern, and that this pattern is influenced by the observer. You are the observer. So when you dwell in the state of receiving, when you feel gratitude not as a request but as a reality, you reshape the hologram of your life. Not by reacting to it, but by emitting a new frequency that reprograms it. You don't just attract the new experience, you become the field through which it emerges. Now imagine doing this not just once but daily. Imagine building the emotional muscle of magnetic gratitude until it becomes your baseline. Not a technique, but your default vibration. That's when you stop trying to manifest, because manifestation becomes who you are. And to lock this in, to crystallize this frequency in your field, we need more than theory. We need a practice. Now that you understand what magnetic gratitude feels like, what it does in your body, your brain, and your energetic field, let's make it real. This is the moment where knowledge becomes experience, where words become vibration, where theory becomes transformation. This is your practice, and it begins in stillness. Find a quiet space. Sit comfortably. Let your hands rest on your heart or thighs. Gently close your eyes and breathe. Inhale slowly through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth. Allow yourself to land in this moment. No past, no future. Just this breath, this body, this now. Now, bring to mind a real memory, one that made you feel deeply grateful. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe someone hugged you just when you needed it. Maybe you stood before a sunset and felt your soul stretch open. Maybe someone forgave you. Or perhaps you forgave yourself. Let that memory take shape. Where are you? What do you see? What do you hear? More importantly, what do you feel? Let that feeling grow. Let it rise in your chest like warm light. Let it spread to your shoulders, your arms, your belly, your legs. Let your whole body become a container for this feeling. This is not a thought, it's not an idea, it's chemistry, frequency, reality. Stay here. Breathe into this feeling of true, embodied gratitude. This is the vibration that rewires your brain. This is the energy that radiates into the field. Now, without leaving this feeling, gently bring into your awareness something you desire. A vision, a goal, a dream. But don't ask for it. Don't beg. Thank it. Thank it as if it is already part of your life. Say inwardly, thank you for this reality. Thank you for this alignment. Thank you for this miracle. Thank you for this life. Feel your body receiving it, not chasing, not hoping, just receiving, because it's already done. You are not separate. You are the magnet, the resonance, the field itself. Stay in this state for a minute or two. Let the feeling settle into your nervous system, into your bones, into your timeline. When you're ready, take one last deep breath. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes, and open your eyes. This is the practice. It's simple, but don't let that simplicity fool you. The most powerful truths are rarely complicated. In just 5 minutes, you've created coherence between your brain and heart. You've activated a measurable shift in your electromagnetic field. You've tuned your frequency to that of fulfillment, reception, and creation. And this, according to quantum biology, is how you collapse potential into form. Not by trying harder, but by being different. Florence Scovel Shinn would call this casting the spell of your word, charged with belief. Neville Goddard would say you've entered the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Dr. Joe Dispenza would point out the new neurological pattern firing in your brain. Amit Goswami would smile and remind you, consciousness is the ground of all being. And you are now a conscious magnet. You are not waiting. You are not asking. You are vibrating. And because of that, what you once pursued will now begin to find you. But remember, it's not the visualization that manifests. It's the emotional signature, the chemistry, the coherence, the signal. Just like a magnet doesn't pull iron filings by wishing, it attracts through its field. So too do you. Not through effort, but through embodiment. This is magnetic gratitude, not just a practice, a way of being. Gratitude is not a list you write in a notebook. It's not a habit you perform out of duty. It's not a checkbox in your morning routine. Gratitude, true gratitude, is a frequency you inhabit, a state you embody, a vibration that changes not just your mood, but your entire field of reality. When you feel it deeply, when you feel it as if what you long for is already here, you stop chasing life, and life starts responding to you. This is where everything changes. You no longer pray from emptiness. You radiate from fullness. You no longer ask the universe to remember you. You remember yourself as already whole, already connected, already worthy. Because gratitude is not for what you have. It's a declaration of who you are. When you wake up and feel grateful for the love you haven't yet received, it begins to move toward you. When you give thanks for the healing you haven't yet seen, your cells start responding. When you embody appreciation for the abundance not yet visible, opportunities begin to unfold, not because you forced anything, but because you tuned yourself into alignment. You broadcasted coherence. You said, I am ready, without uttering a word, because your body said it, your field said it, your vibration said it, and the universe listens to that language. In the teachings of Neville Goddard, to feel is to create, not later, not one day, but now, in the eternal present, where all realities exist in potential, and your awareness selects which one to make manifest. So here is your invitation. The next time you find yourself longing, hoping, or waiting, pause, close your eyes, take a breath, and ask, can I feel the fullness of this desire right now, as if it were already mine? Not think about it, not wish for it, feel it. Let the body speak the future into the present, because when you do, you become the living bridge between energy and matter, the conscious observer that collapses light into form, the vibrational architect of your own becoming. Gratitude is your gateway to healing, to love, to abundance, to freedom. Not because it manipulates the universe, but because it reminds you that you are the universe. And the moment you embody that truth, the field begins to shift. The heart begins to open. The future begins to land in your now. So don't ask the question, what should I be grateful for today? Ask this instead, can I feel the joy of already having it before I ever see it? Because that's not just gratitude, that's creation. So tell me, what's the one thing you feel most grateful for right now? Share it in the comments. I'd love to read your story.